about compression. This is something that I'm doing all the time on a day-to-day basis with either face-to-face or online students. And the reason why you're finding compression difficult is because it's quite scary. Let me explain. When we look at a professional golfer, what we'll notice is the way that by the time the club shaft gets to parallel, the hands are opposite the trail thigh as I'm demonstrating here. And then what we can always see is the way the hands continue to keep leading. So if we were to pause where the club head is about a foot prior to the ball, then you can kind of notice here the way my hands are ahead of the club head. And it's not until here that we really start to square the club face. Hence the reason why it's quite scary. Now, the other reason why it's quite difficult is because it's quite complicated. There's a few things that need to happen. Here's a drill that you can work on and copy to get the right sort of sensation. So I'm going to hold the club in front of me. So the club is chest high. And the idea is that the club should always stay in a straight line. So as I take the club back, okay, there's going to be an element of external rotation, which is the rotation of my upper arm that will move the club back like so. So you can see this type of movement allows the club to travel straight back. Now, what I'm also going to do is draw a line, hopefully from the camera's perspective, it highlights this. I'm just going to increase the angle of my wrist just so you guys can see it, is the way my hands are slightly lower than the club head. So if I do that movement again, what you can start to notice is when I do the external rotation, my hands start to move onto the same line as the club head. Fine. As I then bring it down, this bit's quite easy. This is leading with the hands. Okay, this is the key movement, right, that's going to help. Now, the problem is squaring the club face. If I square the club face by rotating my hands, you can see that when it sends the club up off the horizontal line that we're looking to keep it on. So what needs to happen is two things. My hands need to keep moving. My right arm will also need to straighten as I close the face. And it's basically those movements there. It's the hands that keep leading, the right arm that straightens, and then the supination of my lead hand that squares the club face. And this is why what I say to all students is you really want to learn that way. You really want to learn that this arm moves this way, it's responsible for moving in this sort of fashion and straightening. That's what your right arm is doing, which is why we'll often talk about a skimming a stone analogy inside golf instruction. The lead hand's responsibility is to help continue to pull the club whilst rotating. And if you can do those things, you'll start to go from a sort of person who can't compress the golf ball into someone who can compress the golf ball. It's really important that you understand this. Doing lots of little tips and stuff like that won't teach you how to do it. If you need any help, head over to the website, restologicgolf.com. I'll see you soon.